Alright, so now I will show you some of my tips and tricks for using the Marine. First and foremost, I generally, unless it's co-op, which I do play sometimes, I generally specialize in either the pulse rifle or the minigun because those weapons, in my opinion, are the only ones worth a damn. Now, when you start off as the regular Marine, which I am here, you only have 5 pulse grenades. Even if you get a better weapon like the Sadar, you only get 4 of those. You get much fewer than if you were to specialize in anything, obviously, but I still feel like it's just you're missing a lot, you know? I just feel like it's not worth the variety, to me, personally, is not worth the limitation of ammunition. So, obviously, as the Marine, you're very frail, and everything comes down to aim. I'm probably just gonna stick to this, or if I can find the pulse rifles, I can show you where they are, actually. There are 3 pulse rifles right here. But yeah, I usually specialize in those 2 things. So you'll see me using those pretty much. This is a great map for the minigun, too. But yeah, the Marine needs to be able to aim. So, personally, I have my... I've shown this already. I have my sensitivity set to max. I can show you the key config if you're interested. I use WSAD. Crouch is pretty standard. Operate is E. Yeah, I have previous weapon as mouse wheel down. I find that easier than pressing Q. I don't use flashback. My cycle of vision mode is always mouse wheel up. Throwing flares is both mouse 3 and F. Jetpack is left shift. Taunt for all my species is R. Say is apostrophe, and which is actually tilde. And show scores is tab. And as I said before, I don't have auto weapon shift switch. I can't think of the word. Auto weapon change. I don't have that on. But yeah, since this game is so fast, this is even 90%. Actually, believe it or not, but you need to be very precise. So, as a Marine, you'll want to be able to locate the field charge to destroy it, as well as the weapons. I don't know why more people don't destroy the field charge or whatever, but... And that's the other thing is, the Marine is incredibly frail. One tail swipe, one charged tail will kill. You can die from this blaze too. So the Marine is actually quite frail. The Marine I've always felt was the weakest species. You need a direct... You need to have direct hits as well because the area of effect damage is so minimal. And yeah, unfortunately, you can die a ton as the Marine. So I've always felt that the Marine was the weakest. It's good to know how much damage you can take with each weapon. So, a direct hit from the pulse grenade will kill you. A direct hit from a charged shoulder cannon blast will kill you. A spear will kill you. I'm talking about instant death. Oh look, we got a lot of players now. And of course it's important to know how much damage everyone else takes from you. That kind of thing just comes from experience, so I can tell you that you know, a Sadar blast will instantly kill a predator, but it requires 3 pulse grenades. So it's just really something that you'll need to learn from experience.
Game over, man. Game over.
The Marine plays the most, I would say the most standard, but since the game is so fast, it can leave a lot of players struggling, I think. But yeah, I abuse the fuck out of my pulse grenades. Basically, the primary fire for me for the pulse rifle is the grenade. And the bullets are secondary. The only problem is that, obviously, there's a delay in using it. The alien is quite challenging. Actually, it's, like I said, I think it's the hardest to play a Marine well. The Alien and Marine are probably the weakest, but a lot of encounters happen like that, where you just whoop, pops right in front of you, and then it uses its tail, and you fire a grenade, and you both die. Now, obviously, there are lots of different strategies you can use. You can grab the minigun and camp here. Find a spot to camp.
Game over.
But you'll always have to be moving around. That's one of the things that people don't understand is, like, they kind of just run straight forward like this. Why would you ever run straight forward? First of all, you're an easier target if someone can line you up in their crosshairs. And second of all, you get extra speed if you strafe and hold forward. If you actually do this kind of run strafe thing where I'm actually holding forward and right or forward and left like this, you actually go faster. And I think you also go faster if you jump along with it. You bunny hop along with that. So that's kind of what I do is, obviously you want to make yourself as little of a target as possible. So running zigzags, you know, it'll be harder for the predator to aim a spear gun at you. Also remember that you take the most falling damage Predators don't take much falling damage. They do take some falling damage, depending on how high the fall is. I'll show you how useless the fucking flamethrower is. See, look at this. See, look at that. I've lit myself on fire. I died from a claw attack, and I still didn't kill the alien. It's useless. He committed suicide because I died. Really, the only weapons that are worth a shit in this game for the Marine are the pulse rifle, the minigun, and the SADAR. But the problem with the SADAR will one-hit kill anything. So you might think, well, why not just use that? Also, there's significant lag. That's one easy way to tell if there's lag, is if you destroy an item, you destroy an object. Take a look and see how long it takes for it to break. The longer it takes, the more lag. But yeah, the thing is, it takes up a good portion of your screen. The SADAR does. And you don't start off with it, you have to find it. And if you start off as the SADAR specialist, you only get 9. You only get 9 shots, and then you have to find the damn thing again. Whereas you start off as the pulse rifle specialist, you get 15 pulse rifle grenades. You'll see Predators doing that a lot. That means they're healing. See? So anyway, I hope that's been somewhat informative. Always remember to look up as the Marine. Don't just look straight ahead or down. That goes especially for dark maps like Compound, Subway.
Game over, man. Game over.
Massacre, and what's the Elevator.
Game over, man. Game over.
Yeah, the minigun is kind of a double-edged sword because it's an awesome weapon. It's rapid fire too. That is actually a glitch that I've noticed on the GOG version, is that there's actually this stutter that happens sometimes. It won't fire, which is different from it jamming. Now I've just run out of bullets, so... I haven't talked about the motion tracker much. The motion tracker is not as good as it is in some other games, mostly because it'll track flares, and it'll also track dead bodies. Now, I'm just not a very good shot, so that's why I'm missing a lot, but I'm sure many of you will do much better at the minigun than I. Against aliens, and Marines are pretty fragile. Against Predators, you have to be really careful. Because they have the spear gun, which is a one-hit kill. And they also have the shoulder cannon, which I personally find to be cheap. The charged shoulder cannon, but there's not much you can do about it. I mean, if you were to ban all the weapons that the Predator has that are like crazy overpowered, all it would have would be the fucking wrist blades. Now, the spear gun itself is actually quite difficult to aim, which is why I don't think it's as big a deal.
Game over, man. Game over.
I mean, the pulse rifle has area of effect damage, and it's quite it's a larger projectile than the spear. The spear gun, the spear has to be quite precise. But yeah, against predators, you have aliens obviously can move the fastest, so you're gonna have to dodge them, play them at their own game, you know, sort of like that. They're doing this dance. Also, notice that other species can hear you when you pick up an item. So if you run over something like this, well, he just now knows that I'm behind him. So always know that that's going to happen. The same thing with footsteps. Other species can hear you. Other players can hear your footsteps. You can also hear, when I jump, you hear the... Other players can hear that. So that's something to bear in mind, is if you're trying to go for the sneaky route, the only thing you have that is secretive, you have is really the first shot. So it would be great to have lots of instances like that. I think personally my preference is to be the, I don't know, I kind of like being the pulse marine actually, more so than the minigun. I mean, the minigunner probably has the best odds of winning, but anyway. So that's kind of all I have to say for the marine. If there's anything else I can think of, maybe I'll make a note of it. If there's anything else you can think of or any questions you have, you can leave them below and I'll try to answer them. And anyway, see you in my Predator video.